What's happening, you all? Yeah, we back again. The CoWaCo, the company water cooler. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Now, we're not financial advisors. This is for education purpose only. But we about to get it in. All right, so first off, we're going to talk about should investing be fun? Chris, what you got to say, my man?
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. We appreciate you for joining us at the company water cooler, where we stand around and talk stocks all day at the company water cooler. That is Leroy. I am Chris. So, should investing be fun? That is a yes, period. And also, right, the simple answer is yes. The Chris explanation is this. Investing being fun is just like anything else that you do in life that you consider fun. You have to make it that way. So things are not naturally fun, right? You have to make them that way. So partying is only fun because it's been made fun, right? So we go out to the club Friday, Saturday, we up till 6 o'clock in the morning after being up all day, working, getting off, going downtown, going to the bars. Then we go here, we go to the club there, we go there, we go there. Before you know it, it's 3:45. We tired, but we stay up for 2.5 more hours, just kicking it, right? Having conversation, talking about, the good times, right? Talking about back in the day, reminiscing, doing a lot of this. Investing can also be that, right? I think when you get older and you start to see what investing can do, then it becomes fun. Partying is fun when you first do it because it absolves you of responsibilities. Like if we partying all the time, we can forget that rent is due, right? Or we can forget that we have bills because it takes us away from that. And then especially if you're younger and you don't have those bills to pay, you can really party all the time because you don't have any responsibilities. But when you get older, you still have those responsibilities, but it takes you away from it a little bit. So it doesn't totally absolve you from it, but in the moment it does, right? Investing should be fun because you're never going to, and you're not going to want to, but you're never going to know all facets of investing, right? So you have stocks, you have real estate, you have commodities, you have cryptocurrency, it's so many different facets of investing that you have. You're going to pick one that you gravitate towards, and that's what you're going to master. You're going to be familiar with all the other assets because that's the smart thing to do. But it's so many classes of assets. You're going to pick one, you're going to stick with that one, master that one, and you're going to have investments elsewhere in the others, but you're always going to be learning about that one that you mastered. There is fun in that because you can see what it does. So the potential after being invested to continue to invest and to further enhance your portfolio is the fun part. So investing is fun once you realize what it provides for you, right? You can go out, you can be an investor, you can go out and party after your portfolio has reached a certain amount because you're not going to dissolve that entire portfolio, right? You might take a little profit off, but think about it like this. Your money is still making money when you're spending money, when you're investing, right? So Nike, love the company, is great, investor. You're not going to catch me in anything with Nike shoes. When I spend money on Nike, I'm spending money on me. I'm making that money back, right? And that company is growing. It's getting bigger because other investors are doing the same thing and new investors are doing the same thing. Yesterday's prices are certainly not the ones of today. So things have to continue to increase. So $100 pair of shoes yesterday is $120 today. It'll be $140 tomorrow, and people will keep buying it, right? That's the part of the marketing team that will continue to promote and sell. Like, hey, we the big dogs. Do you really want to wear any other shoe but Nike? You know what I mean? Not that they're going to guilt you into wearing it, but it's so much popularity in that brand. You're not looking anywhere else. And then if you're an investor, you shouldn't look anywhere else. But that's the fun. I can still get the nice new $250, $300 pair of shoes because I'm reinvesting that into me, right? So, and I can even take the dividend that I get from Nike and go buy, right? I'm just putting that money right back. I'm just taking my money, and while I'm spending it, it's coming right back to me because I'm spending it on me. I'm just sharing it with millions of other people, several other institutions, but that's fine. It's enough money in the world for everybody. It's enough food in the world for everybody. It's enough everything. It's enough water. It's enough everything. How can we quantify Earth's capacity, right, for human beings? So when we look at investing, when you're putting money back into your pocket, that should be fun, right? If I'm taking money from my left pocket and putting it in my right pocket, it's my right pocket, but it's still my pocket. That's fun, right? And you can still do, you can still go off-roading and ATV, laser tag. You can still do these really cool things, right? You can still take trips, kayaking, canoeing, you can bow and arrow, you can go to the gun range, you can work on cars, rebuild engines to burn them out, ride like Kentucky Derby, roller derby. You can go, you can still do all of these things, right? But make them a part of your portfolio. Make that a part of your investing life so you can make it a part of your personal life, right? Your fun life. If you're a gun fanatic, if you love guns, you should probably be invested in gun companies. It doesn't make sense not to be, right? If you like yachting, if you like to go boating, invest in yacht companies and spend your money with those yacht companies. Don't make it difficult because it's not. So put your money, make the fun in investing where you do these extracurricular activities that are bringing you back money. Spend money on yourself. It's very fun to spend money on yourself. And I don't mean on liabilities, right? We're going to go to the mall and buy it all. I don't mean that. But it's fun to transfer money from your left pocket to your right pocket, back to your left pocket. It's amazing every time.
That's what's up. And I like what Chris, what he said the extracurricular activity that you actually do, that you can invest in those. And basically, like, even if you were buying, items that actually, to take on these trips, or that you always, buying or wearing, and he used Nike as one of them, like if you're going hiking, you might buy some Nikes, or, you might buy something from maybe Dick's Sporting Goods, something like that, so just keep that in mind, what he just said. And even if it's just like learning, you're learning something new, like something that you're not, used to, or, familiar with. So you get in there and start learning, start to be fun, exciting, so that's what's up. All right.
Yeah. Make it one, and one last point before we move on to the next point, Leroy.
Oh yeah.
Make these things. So make fun challenging. So challenge yourself on fun. When you see something that's fun, I like this, I like that. Ask yourself why, and then find other things that can also be fun. I'm not telling you to completely change who you are and dismiss your personality and characteristics and totally change your attributes. Find fun in something else. Challenge fun. Like, why do I like going out to the club every weekend? Like, what am I getting from that? That's the second question you got to ask yourself. what am I getting from that? Right? I'm spending $2,000 going out. I'm buying drinks for everybody. We buying food. We having a good time. It's great. The times are great. It's a fantastic time. But what am I getting from that? I wake up the next morning and I look at my account and I go, wow, I got to work 30 hours over this week because of what I did, right? But if I'm invested and I make it fun, we go spend $2,000 on everybody getting the whole Nike fit. That next week, I'm gonna make that money, you know what I mean? And so challenge the fun that you have. And if the fun that you're doing is not contributing to your life, don't do it. You have family outings and you have, I would never tell you to not go to a cookout. Listen, every cookout you get a chance to go to, right? Especially if the food is there already and it's prepared, they just want you to show up. Come on now. I'm not, you know what I mean? Hey, the fam said come through and you got to bring that. What? Go ahead. But that's because your reward is what? Your benefit is what? The food and the good time. So that's a meal that you don't have to prepare. You can save money on. You see what I mean? So it brings you more than just that one benefit. But if you like clothes, you like having a whole bunch of clothes and a whole bunch of nice clothes, and that's what you spend your money on, that's cool if those clothes are returning you money. But you know what you realize is, man, I done spent $500 this past week on clothes, and I didn't even realize it, but I done bought the same shirt 3 times. Like, dang, man, okay. I could take it back, get my money back, wait 3-5 days before it hit the bank, or I could just not do that again, and I can take that investment and put it in that clothing company so I can buy 45 shirts, and every time I buy a shirt, it's making me money. Obviously, this has to be a good company that knows what they're doing. This is why I enlisted the services of Nike, because you know, if for every pair of shoes that you buy from Nike, you make that equal dollar amount in investment, and you'll thank yourself later.
All right. So now the next point, you all, number 2, is how do I get my family involved into investing? If I'm a person that likes to invest, but they don't have really an interest in it, how do I get them involved? Chris, what you got to say, my man?
That is, it seems tough, but it's not. Trust me, it's an easy one. You have to show them the benefits of investing. It's just like you have to sell them on. So it's just like Nike selling you a pair of shoes. They're going to create that desire for you to. You didn't need the shoes before, but it wasn't until you saw the commercial with the all white background and the pair of shoes floating in the air that you wanted them, right? Because they know what they're doing. They study psychology, they study art, they study symbols, so they know. And now you want those shoes, right? I know we mentioned before, you didn't want a Sprite until you saw the Sprite commercial, the little cartoons coming out, and they got the singing, and that's when you wanted it, right? You have to sell investing to those who you care about, those who you love, your family. If they're not interested in it, you have to show them what it brings. So if you're working 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, and you start investing and you're trying to get your family up on investing, like, everybody's like, I don't know, I don't really see the benefit in it. And then a few years after working that job, you don't have it anymore, not because you lost it, but because you quit, because your investments have now supplemented your lifestyle and then some. Right? So you don't have to work 9 to 5 anymore because of the investments you made. So now you own your 24 hours, and you can take your wife and your kids on a trip here, and you can take your wife and your kids on a trip there, and y'all can go here and y'all can go there, and y'all can buy this and buy that, and you can buy another house, you can buy another car, right? And you can buy land, you can start a farm, you can start your own business and focus on that full time. And it's like, man, you know what I mean? I didn't even, the questions are going to start coming in. Hey man, how did that happen? How did he do that? Right? There is a commercial out there. It is a Cash App commercial, right? One of Leroy's favorite companies, right? Cash App that's one of his top, right? Because Square is a good company. So it's Kendrick Lamar and it's Ray Dalio. Now, if you don't know who Ray Dalio is, Google him. He is, the economist. Whatever he says, really, economists they take that to heart. But he's a great analyst, right? And he's got this is very popular video on YouTube. He goes back to the 16th century in history and studies crashes and falls in the American economy, right? And so obviously this is the best thing for anybody to do is go back to before something started. So if investing became extremely popular in the 1900s and now in the early 21st century, it started obviously with trade and bartering. So we need to go back to when people were trading cows for mules. We need to go back when, we were trading wheat for, that traded, but we need to go back to before when paper money or gold currency or physical currency was like super, super popular where it was okay still to say, hey, I'll trade you that for that. And I'll give you this house if you give me those 50 cows, right? Things like that. Or I'll give you a plot of land over here if you give me that, right? So anyway, but he goes back, and obviously he's not the first and he's not the greatest at it, right? But he goes and he looks at all of these periods in history from the 1500s. Obviously, human history, we've got thousands of years before that. But he goes and he looks, and this, like I said, this video, Ray Dalio, just type it in, it should be the first one that comes up because it's at like 30 or 40 million views right now. But it explains all the crashes and everything that led up to it, right? But he's in it, but it's this commercial with Kendrick Lamar and Ray Dalio and one of Kendrick Lamar's little homies. And he's explaining to Kendrick in street lingo about a bad investment that he made. Kendrick is playing this, I don't want to call him a middleman, but he's almost like the hood translator. And Ray Dalio was standing right there, but you don't see him until the camera pans over and boom, it's Ray Dalio. So he takes all 8 minutes of what his little homie's speech was, and he relays that to Ray Dalio in about 2 sentences. And Dalio says, well, you got to invest in yourself, man. You got to put the money behind you. You're your biggest investment. You don't need enough, to rely on someone else. Take the money and invest it in you, man. So then Kendrick takes that information that he got from Dalio, who, like I said, literally the three of them are 2 feet away from each other. And he tells the little homie in hood vernacular what Ray Dalio just said, but it's PG hood vernacular because it's Cash App and it's not, it's not going to actually be hood vernacular like how we actually speak outside. It's going to be, oh, okay. And however you feel about the commercial, because, they're apps, but again, marketing it, why was there, again, symbols and psychology? This was, the back, it was all white background and it made it look like they were standing on the stoop. Why did they do that? We could dissect this video forever. Like I said, however you feel about it, it's whatever. Just watch it and then form your own opinion and then go from there. But what Cash App was attempting to do in that commercial was to say, hey, we have investors that may not understand the lingo of investing. We have to enlist the services of a man who exists in both worlds. And I hate that phrase, but that's what I got to go with for right now. Exists in both worlds and is able to explain investing to those of his community from which he came, even though he's in a better position than they are, a much better position than many of them. And you take the information from a man that's already in that space and give that information back to the hood so then that information can be used to bring them out of that situation. So again, however you think about it, it is what it is. You can dissect the video for about 40 minutes. And it's only about a minute and a half, but a lot is done and a lot is said in this time. But I bring that up because sometimes you have to you need to communicate with somebody in a way that's going to be effective and the way that they're going to receive the message. You can't talk over people, right? If I know that you don't understand words longer, words more than 3 syllables, I'm gonna have to stick to 2 and 1 syllable words, right? But that's just me knowing you. I'm not gonna put you on blast. I'm not putting you out there like, oh man, he's stupid, but I talked to him. Like, no, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I talked to him about investing, man. He dumb, but I try to let him know. So no, it's none of that, right? But I have to speak to you in a way that's gonna hit. It's gonna make sense to you. Think about it in terms of language. If our native language is French, and I start learning English, and then 5 years later, I'm proficient in English. I still have a French accent, right? But I'm proficient in English. But you never started to learn English. You was like, nah, English is ugly. I don't even want to speak that language. Get that out of my face. Now, when we're at a restaurant in an English-speaking country, I have to order for you, right? I have to take the French that you give to me, translate it into English, give it to the Englishman, take it in the order, so he can go back to the chef who speaks English, bring the food back, so then you can have, right? So you think about it in that term, obviously that's definitely a lot more distinct because we're talking about verb and subject placement. We're talking about tone and, we're talking about a whole different thing. But essentially, that's what the commercial was attempting to do. So sometimes that's what you'll have to do in investing when it comes to your family. You'll have to show them, hey, investing works, right? If you make $100,000 off of an investment that you have or investments that you have, I'm not going to tell you to go buy a bunch of liabilities just to prove a point. No. Mm-hmm. You can say, hey, look, fam, let me put $10,000 in an investment portfolio. Huh? You said what? Wait, hold up. How you do that? Yeah, man, I just made a whole lot more of my investment. I want to put you in on games. Hold up. How you do? You can sit them down and show, hey, look, this is how it is. And look, I made $101,000 this year off my investments. Like, let me put 10 in your investment account so you can do that same thing. Oh man, well look, I need that 10,000 right now. Hey, that's fine. Let me give you 10,000 and then let me invest 10,000. You can do that? Oh no, yeah. Let me show you how I did that. And so put measures in place so that money can't be. I mean, obviously, if you gift the stock, once the stock is gifted, it is now a property of whoever the stock was gifted to. So they can sell it and trade it as they see fit because it's a gift they received it. Right? If I give you a car, you can go wreck that car because I gave it to you. It's yours now, right? If I transfer everything over, you can go do whatever you want to do with the car, right? You can go change the color on it, change the way you could take it to the shop, get your money, whatever you want to do. You can go sell the car right after I give it to you. But if I'm showing you that this $10,000 that I want to put in your investment account, that $10,000 that I hand you in cash is nothing on top of that $100,000 that I made investment, because I'm going to take that and put that back. It's going to pique your interest because you'll also want to do that same thing. So don't talk down at anyone, obviously, and don't come across as condescending, right? I'm not going to use I'm not going to bash you for not investing. I want you to, and I'm going to continue to promote it. But I'm also not going to, I'm not going to try to humiliate you and, oh, he ain't going to understand this, so I have to give him this much. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Oh, she ain't going to understand that. So don't limit yourself either. Don't condescend, but don't limit, because you don't know what somebody might understand. Right? You don't know what that man understands. You don't know what that woman understands. So it's always ask the question. You don't have to do the whole, is that making sense to you? Every sentence. That's annoying. right? Oh, well, yes, and you'll take and you'll put that over here and you'll put that over there. Is that making sense? Okay. And then when you bring it back and you put it back in, is that making sense? Okay. And once you return that and you flip that, is that making sense? That's annoying, right? So because I'm watching your body language, I'm doing all of this, so I don't have to ask that question as many times. I can ask, hey, that's making sense. Y'all getting that at the end of the page? Did we understand that page? What questions do you have? And the most important thing, patience. That's the most important thing, patience. Because it's going to feel like you are explaining to a child. It's gonna feel like that. It's gonna feel like, man, I feel like I'm talking to the third grade me. Like, yo, this is crazy. Because you already are, you know what I mean? You've already learned all of this stuff you're teaching. So it's why you can't just do what I say and catch up? Because there has to be an attachment of some sort to it. You value it and you have attachments to it and it's worked for you, but it might not work for me. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm relying on you to relay that information to me so I can get attached to it, so I can value it. You got to give me time to do that. It is annoying and it will take time, but you have to be patient. And the one thing you don't do is stop your investing and totally stop what you're doing to prove a point just for it not to work, right? Or for it potentially not to work. Okay, I made $100,000 off the investment. I'm about to pull $100,000 out and blow $100,000 right in front of their face so they see. Yeah, you see, that's what I just did. I took $100,000 out and blew it in front of your face. Is that gonna create? No, that's gonna create envy and jealousy. Oh, he took $100,000. Bad, I'm on his ass now. You see what I mean? And so it's not like, but it's like I'm on now. You've created a situation where, okay, I'm gonna get that 100,000. I'm gonna get it, and I'm going to use it to your demise. I'm gonna. Okay, point made. $100,000, great. I'm gonna use that against you now. So you have to be careful, and if you don't know, I mean, you could express, hey, look, I really want to get you invested, but how do I do that? What do I need to do? Sometimes you have to ask, right? Sometimes you have to ask that family members, hey, look. We making it over here, you know what I mean? We winning. We want you over here in the circle, but you can't be a liability. We ain't just gonna put you over here and you're not contributing like that. Yeah, I mean, you're a grown ass man. You got to, hey, go get that. We got to till this soil. Now you got to do something. What I need to do? What I need to do? Hey, look, you making how much at your job now? I double it. Come on over here. You know what I mean? You got health, dental, all of that too. Come on over here. We give you life insurance too. You know what I mean? And so it becomes, you know what I mean? Because you got to provide for your family, bro. Like, I mean, you making 20, I give you 4 per hour. And I give you weekends off. And I give, you know what I mean? Just to show you that I love you, that I care about you, that I want you here with us, I will go to those measures. So don't condescend, be patient, and don't think that you have to limit information and knowledge. Sometimes it's beneficial to just give all the information at one time, just flood the streets. And then go, after you flooded the streets, then you go set up the barriers. Then you go set up these different, okay, well, the water is moving crazy and we're gonna take this, put that there, so then it starts to move here. That's the first level. We're gonna put another barricade here, it's gonna move around. That's the second level. We're gonna put a third one back here. That's the second. So then it goes through all of these, it passes through all of these barricades, it's headed down the street, okay, it's doing its thing, but it's doing so in a nice, even way, right? So that way, if you wanna go to that first barricade, you just go, okay, cool, right? Crazy analogy, but the point is, what you're doing is, here's the information, boom, here's the problem, here's the life, here's the this, here's the that. And then you're compartmentalizing. Sometimes you compartmentalize later and not in the beginning, right? I'm gonna give you the test, I'm gonna give you the answers, I'm gonna give you the study guide, I'm gonna give you the review sheet, I'm gonna give you the homework, I'm gonna give you everything now. Then I'm gonna backtrack. And I'm gonna teach one lesson at a time, 1 through 10, okay? And as I'm progressing and moving up in number, as I'm going forward, I'm gonna say, hey, we in chapter 3 right now. This is gonna make sense in chapter 7. If it doesn't already, this is chapters 2 and 1 combined. We're gonna move to chapter 4. That's gonna cover 2 heavier than 1, 2, 3. Once we get to 7, that's gonna cover 3 heavier than 1 through 6. Once we get to 10, we get the end of the book, then we're gonna do a whole book review again. And I'm gonna go back to the chapters where you had the most questions. So sometimes you have to do that. But stay patient, stay focused. That's 2 most important points. Stay patient, stay focused, and you'll get it. It'll click for you.
I want to add on to, you should play games with your family. Put games in there that basically are around investing. So as you play those games, with your family, those you can be able to actually put some explanations in the games as you're playing with them. Like, for example, I got 2 games off the top of my head that I'm thinking about. Life is one of them, the game board Life. It also has, like, whenever you're actually going around the board, it has in there where you can even use cards, or you can either buy investments also too in the game. And so,
Yeah.
if you're an investor, you can actually, as you're going around a board, make sure you spend your money on investment, because in the end, when you add up that money at the end of the game, bam, but you're buying an investment that's added in. Monopoly is another game that you can actually play with your family also too. It involves investing, with your money, when you still making money off of the money that you invested, so playing games with your family makes it fun, even if you can be able to actually even link up with other families, like another person in you're all in investing, and y'all trying to get your family to investing. Y'all make some time to be able to link your families up and play games with investing. Just make it fun. That's the way to be able to actually make it fun.
And you have apps now too that are basically games. I mean, Robinhood, Webull, all of these, they've gamified these. You buy a stock and boom, confetti show. It's like, hey, click, I won, right? I mean, you think about it. Like, when you buy on all of these apps, you get a little bell, a little whistle, you get some confetti, and you get congratulations. It's like, oh, I don't won a game. In a way that works, but then in a way but again, however you feel about it. But what they're trying to do is get people involved. That's really the whole goal and the whole point. However they go about it is wrong and right, depending on who you talk to. But they're trying to get people involved. Monopoly is a great game. I mean, if you play it by the rules, it's but I play Hood Monopoly is better. But when you go on to Robinhood and you go on to Webull and you go, any of these trading platforms, any of these brokerages, even the institutions, right? Even Chase and Bank of America, even that, when you go on there and you buy something, congratulations, it's like you won a prize. The incentive being your prize is ownership. That's the whole point. So to Leroy's point, you can play those games and get involved. But while you're playing those games, hey, we're talking through it. This is what that term means. This is what that term means. Oh, hey, look, this is this is that. Here's how you play that in this. Here's how you play that in that. And so now the game is not just a game anymore. It's about strategy. And that's the most important thing when investing is strategy. So if I'm teaching you strategy while we're playing this game, you're going to use that in real life.
Yes. And also going back to watching videos that around like investing, that's fun though, and interesting. As you're going through the videos, you can be able to dissect what Chris said earlier about that Cash App commercial. Watching something like that, and also like kind of breaking down the commercial and you're interacting, with your family, because then like you're getting, what people maybe understand, or like, or not understand, and then you get an interaction and you're talking about it. That's just an example of using like the Cash App commercial. There might be some other videos out there that explains investing very well, but still keep it fun, interactive. You see if you can find those type of videos out there and be able to actually, the family, you all actually get together and actually, talk about it. So that's another tip I'm gonna add in also too, about getting your family involved. So, all right, you all, favorite of the week, stock pick.
Yeah.
Now I already said one of them that I was gonna say. It was Dick's Sporting Goods.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I was trying to figure out a company that I like to wear, Pumas. They're pretty cool shoes, and especially one that has color to them. So I was trying to figure out, and also the Pumas wear too. So I was trying to figure out, well, what company actually sell Pumas, a quality company now, that actually sell Pumas that you can be able to invest in. And I was just doing some research. I'm like, oh snap, look at that. They're Sporting Goods. Okay. So I checked them out, checked out like, how they're doing and stuff. Like, oh yeah, I like this. They've been on point there. Cause you can't, well, you can invest into Puma, but it's like you have to kind of do it. I think you have to do it overseas.
Yeah, it's a German company.
Yeah. So eventually I'll get to that, investing overseas.
Right.
So yes, Dick's Sporting Goods is one of my picks for today.
Yeah.
And he already said the other one too. One of my favorite, Square, was the second one. And the third one, I'm gonna go with the ETF for the third one, which is going to be Technology XLK. It has all your technology companies that you think about that's in there. And matter of fact, I think we mentioned before, Microsoft. Make sure you're not sleeping on Microsoft company. And we know we always be mentioning Apple too. And see, in XLK, both of those companies are actually in XLK, the ETF. So make sure, y'all don't sleep on Microsoft.
Yeah. Microsoft is the one.
Yeah, because it owns like other companies, but it don't kind of put like a stamp on it. It kind of lets the company actually run at their name still, which is pretty smart because people are drawn to names. So definitely Microsoft definitely be thinking outside the box whenever they actually find these companies also too.
Yeah.
So
it's like when you with film companies. So Sony and Columbia, or like Viacom, NBC, Universal, they have hundreds of subsidiaries, and you'll see New Line Cinema, and then underneath, obviously, very small, you'll see a Time Warner company. Well, who owns Time Warner? That's AT&T, right? So, and then you'll see, because the film will be produced by Time Warner, but it'll say, okay, this is an HBO movie, Time Warner, New Line Cinema, Time Warner, but it'll have all of these different logos and all these different names. So whenever a company has that many subsidiaries, New Line Cinema can go off and do you know, its own, obviously partner with Regency or Rat Pack, or I mean, really any other smaller company that's not owned by Time Warner or they're owned by AT&T, they can Legendary, they can go. I mean, you know, Warner has obviously all of the cartoons of our childhood, right? And DC, right? Superman, Batman, all that. But they can go partner with these other companies, make a movie, and that's still money for AT&T. It's coming back into AT&T. So this is why you'll see a movie on TNT, TBS, it'll be advertised on CNN, and it'll be on HBO. That's all the same company. All of that is AT&T, right? So pay attention to that. Pay attention to subsidiaries. Microsoft is definitely one of my companies this week too. Like Leroy said, don't sleep on it. It's Microsoft. The technology is great. Amazon is the same. You have to be that way. Like when you become a big dog, you gotta keep purchasing. You gotta keep buying. Zoox is this autonomous vehicle company out of California that Amazon bought, and they purchased it for a little over $1 billion. That company takes off and goes to amazing places. Amazon is making money off of that. You know, Amazon bought MGM Studios last year. Same thing, right? So when MGM makes a movie, it doesn't matter if it says an Amazon company underneath or not. It doesn't matter. MGM Studios and Amazon Studios could do a movie together and put it out on Amazon Prime. That's Amazon, right? That's what that is. So Amazon is another, but Tesla split 3-1. Okay, so that's 100% where I'm going with this. All right, closed a little under $300 on Friday. Tesla is now more affordable than what it was before, but trust me, it's gonna get back up to $9 to account for a split. I think if Tesla never split, Tesla would now be, I think, about $4,000 or $5,000 a share if they never split, because the first split was 5-1 at, what was it, 1,500, 1,600, and then the second split again was this 900, almost 1,000. So that's 3-1. So 8-1 over the whole lifetime, right? Tesla would be a lot right now. So I think 3,000 to 4,000. But yeah, for sure over 3,000. Tesla split. Get in. It's gonna be a good company for a long time. So Tesla, Amazon, and Microsoft for me this week. 3 big tech giants. And I know, you put XLK in there, right?
Yeah, XLK,
XLK, right? I like XLY. I like XLK too, but I'm gonna throw XLY in there as well. The consumer discretion, I'm gonna put that in there this week to sort of balance the tech heavy side of things. Nike, Home Depot, Target, like all of the companies that we talk about are in there.
All right, you all. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. The CoWaCo Company Water Cooler. We out. Peace.
See y'all next week.